Hey, what's going on? My name is Johnny, and today I'm going to walk you through setting up a VPS using Hostinger. If you want to install a web app, run automation workflows, create a private dashboard, host an AI tool, or manage your own backend system, a VPS gives you the flexibility to do that. And in the end, you'll have your own VPS set up and ready to install your web apps. Now to get started, you can click the link in the description, which will give you a 10% discount with your new VPS. Alright, so if you followed the link in the description, you should have landed on this page. This is where we're going to pick our VPS subscriptions. So with that being said, just going to click choose plan. And this is going to scroll us down to where we can choose our plans. Now for this tutorial, I'm going to recommend picking the KVM plan. And that's because if we install our web app and find that we're running low on system resources, Hostinger makes it very easy to upgrade our plan. And I'm actually going to show you guys later in the video where we can upgrade. So for right now, we're just going to click choose plan for KVM1. In this next section is where we can choose our billing period. Then I suggest picking the 12-month option because with it, you still get a free domain. Next, under choose a location, Hostinger automatically picks a server with the best latency to you, so you don't have to touch this. And then under select operating system, I'm going to recommend picking Ubuntu. You're going to want to make sure that you pick the latest LTS version because that gives you the long-term support. When you're finished, you're going to want to scroll back up to the top and apply the coupon code Johnny10, that's Jonny 10. This will give you your 10% discount, and when you're finished here, you're going to click continue to move on to the next section. Here's where we can register our account. I'm going to fill this out, but I'm going to fast forward it, so I'll meet you at the end. And then when you're finished, you're going to want to click register. And now on this page, we're just going to fill out our billing information. And again, I'm going to fast forward this, so you don't have to sit through me filling this out. When you're finished filling this out, press continue. In this next section, we're going to fill out our payment info. Again, I'm going to fill this out and fast forward it so that you guys don't have to sit through this. And when you're finished filling this out, click submit payment. All right, so now when you land on this page, click get started. So here is where we're going to start setting up our VPS. So all you want to do is use this create a root password part. So right now you're just going to click generate. After clicking generate, you're going to want to click on the I and then copy and paste your password, save it somewhere safe. So after you save that, click next. On this page are some additional features. I don't recommend installing any of these right now because when we set up our VPS, I just like to have a fresh start without any extra added features. So we're just gonna click finish setup. And now on this page, this is gonna let us know when our VPS is done getting spun up. Could take a few minutes. So I'll meet you back on the next page once it's done. Great, so your VPS is done spinning up. And now what we're gonna wanna do is click manage VPS. So this is our VPS overview page. And first thing that we're going to want to do is open our terminal. So this should have opened a terminal session into our new VPS. So if you're scared of the command line, don't worry. I'm going to walk you through this step by step. All right, so let's move into the first part of this where we actually update the software. So what you're going to want to do is type in apt space update space ampersand space apt space upgrade space -y. The first part of this command, apt update, is going to tell the system to pull down the latest software information so we know exactly what software needs to be updated. And the second part of this command, apt upgrade, is going to actually upgrade the software. So once you've finished typing this in, press enter. And once this is finished, we'll move on to the next step. All right, great. So now that our software has been updated, we're going to move on to adding that new admin user. So to do that, you're just going to need to type user add space -m space -G sudo space -s space /bin/bash and then our username. So I'm just going to add Johnny here. You can name your user whatever you want as long as it's not root. So once you've finished typing this in, hit enter. And now your new user should be created. And what we're going to do next is actually become that user. So you're going to type in su space minus space, and then I'm going to use Johnny here. You're going to use whatever user you just created and then hit enter. All right, so now that we finished setting up our user, there's a lot of information on the screen here that we don't need. So what I like to do in these cases is just, we can hit enter a bunch of times to clear some of this out. And then that'll give us like a fresh new line to work with. Okay, so now that we have a nice clean workspace, we're going to set up remote access for our new user using a utility called SSH. In order to do that, we need to set up a few files on our local computer. If you're on Windows, you're going to do this through PowerShell. If you're on Mac or Linux, you're going to do this through the terminal. So go ahead and open either PowerShell or terminal, and I'll see you in the next step. Okay, so now you should either be in your PowerShell or terminal, depending on what operating system you're using. And what we're going to do now is generate a key pair, run this next command, which is ssh-keygen space -t space ed25519. And then when we create these files, we can create it with a comment so we know what the files are for. So you can do this with space minus capital C, and just put in quotes after it, my personal SSH key. And this will add this comment to our file. Next, we can hit enter. This is going to tell us where the file is being saved. So you can hit enter to use the default. And then it's going to ask for a password. Just hit enter to leave the passphrase empty, and then hit enter one more time. So now our files were created. These files listed here and here. The first one being our private key. Now, you never want to give away your private key to anyone. That stays on your system and you need to keep it a secret. The next one is the public key, which is marked with as a .pub file. And this is the file that we're going to take the contents and apply it to our VPS. So if you're on Windows, you're going to want to open up the public file with Notepad. If you're on Linux or Mac, you can just simply type in cat space and then just copy the file, paste that, and hit enter. You want to make sure, and I stress this, you need to grab the whole thing from beginning to the end. So again, if you're on Windows, you're going to use Notepad. Just make sure that you copy everything from the beginning of the SSH all the way to the end of key. So just go ahead and copy that. And then we're going to move back to our VPS terminal session in the browser. Okay, so now that we're back in our VPS terminal session in the browser, we're going to create a new folder. So to do that, you can just type in mkdir space .ssh. So this will create a .ssh directory. And then what we want to do is create a file to store our public key. So what you're going to want to do is type in nano space tilde /.ssh / authorized keys, and then hit enter. So this is going to take us inside a text editor, and all you have to do is just paste that. So if you're on Windows, you can do Control V. If we're on Mac, we're going to do Command V. So we pasted our public key here, and all we have to do is press Control O to write. It's going to ask down here what to name the file. You can just hit enter, and then Control X to quit. Okay, so then the next thing we need to do is make sure that our new directory, the .ssh directory, is only readable to our user, and we can do that by typing chmod space 700.ssh. And then our next step is to update the permissions on the authorized keys file. So we can do that by typing chmod 6 space 600.ssh / authorized keys, and then hit enter. Okay, so now you should be back to either PowerShell or terminal, depending on if you're using Windows or Mac OS. So what we're going to do now is connect to our VPS using our terminal or PowerShell. So in order to do that, we can just type in SSH space our username. So whatever username you gave that admin account on the VPS at, and then we're just going to paste the IP address and hit enter. So now it's going to ask you, are you sure that you want to connect to this server? You're just going to type in yes and then hit enter. And if all goes well, you should now be connected to your VPS. Okay, so now that we've successfully logged into our server using SSH, we're going to make 2 more security-focused updates, and then we're finished. The first one will be to no longer allow root to log in remotely, and the second one, we're going to create some firewall rules and then enable the firewall. So the first step in this process is becoming root. So how we can do that is type sudo space su space dash. Now this is going to ask for your password. So you're just going to type in your password that you set for your user earlier. So when you start typing, you might notice that you're not seeing anything showing up in the terminal, and that's totally normal. Just continue typing your password like you normally would, and then hit enter. So now you should see the prompt change, and you can see that you're now root. So what we're going to do now is update our SSH config by adding a file with some contents in it. And we can do that by typing in echo space parenthesis permit with a capital P, root with a capital R, login with a capital L, space, no, and then close the parenthesis, and then space, greater than, space, /etc, /SSH, /SSHD underscore config dot D /9999 dash no dash root dash login dot conf, and then hit enter. So that created our configuration file so that root is now not going to be able to log in. And then finally, we're going to use UFW, which stands for Uncomplicated Firewall, to set up some firewall rules that will allow any web applications to work and allow us to continue to log in using SSH. So the first thing that you want to do is type in UFW allow 22, which is our port for SSH /TCP, and then hit enter. And then the next thing that we're going to do is allow port 80. So we can do that by typing UFW allow 80 TCP, and then hit enter. And finally, we're going to allow port 443, which is the port for HTTPS. UFW allow 443 /TCP, and hit enter. And now all we have to do is actually enable the firewall. So we're going to do UFW enable. This is going to warn us that if this port 22 is not open, then we might get disconnected, but we already know that we opened it. So all we have to do is say Y, hit enter. Okay, so now we just want to double check the status. So we can type in UFW space status. We have all of our firewall rules listed here. We didn't get disconnected. And the last thing that we're going to do is reboot the server. So now we can just type in reboot. So what this is going to do is actually all the updated software that we did earlier, the SSH configuration, all needs to get reset. So when we reboot, everything's going to restart and all the changes that we made will take place. So after typing reboot, press enter, and now we're disconnected because the server rebooted. Okay, so now after waiting a few moments for the server to reboot, we just want to make sure that everything's good. So we're going to try and SSH back to the server, and if all is good, we should be able to connect. So we can do that again by typing SSH space your username at, and then the server IP address. So then after you type that in, go ahead and hit enter, and looks like we successfully logged in. So that's it. Our server's set up and ready to go. Firewall rules are configured. SSH is configured to not allow root to log in. If we create any new users, we'll be able to log in. And if any admin things need to be done, you can do so with your admin user that you created. Okay, so before we finish, I just wanted to quickly go over how we can upgrade our VPS plan, which I mentioned much earlier in the video. In order to do so, you can do it in two places. The first one is on the VPS page, which you can reach in the navigation panel. Click VPS, and next to your VPS, you can click the three dots next to the manage button and click upgrade. The next spot that you can go to is under manage, where you can see your CPU usage, the memory usage, disk usage, and the bandwidth usage. If you see any of these nearing 100% consistently, you're going to probably want to upgrade your plan, and you can do so on this page by clicking the three dots and then clicking upgrade. This will take you to your upgrade page. You will be able to choose which plan you want to upgrade to. So that's it. We're all finished. So that's it. You should be ready to rock with that new VPS. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button and check out my next video where I show you how to set up a basic web app on your new server.